All right, guys, Dan Bidondi here, TruthRadioShow.com. Today is June 3rd, 2020, and I'm doing a live video. Also, it's going to be recorded and uploaded to YouTube as well. So, again, today is June 3rd, 2020, and I want to debunk this conspiracy theory going around about George Floyd, about him being a Masonic, this is all part of a Masonic conspiracy, the tattoo and everything else on his chest, and everybody knows I'm the first one to point these things out if they're true. I've been a historical researcher in the occult and Freemasonry and other secret societies for years. Okay, and I know the symbolism very well and how they operate and all the stuff about them. So, that being said, okay, I'm not trying to cover for Masons. I'm not trying to cover for anything like that, okay? I'm just trying to point out, because these videos are going viral. There's a bunch of YouTube videos going viral about this being part of a Masonic conspiracy, this being fake, all that stuff. So we're going to address that. And so, this disgusting picture there, we all seen this, okay, and this murdering cop just murdering this guy here. So what the deal is, there's people out there trying to say that this is a psyops, a Masonic conspiracy. Now, I'm not saying, here's the thing, we know the globalists, the elite, they love to use real things that happen to push false flags, real things that happen to push political agendas. How many people this year, white people and black people, were killed by cops this year? Tons. Why are they going to highlight this one? You know what I mean? Because it's the most horrific one. So basically, a bunch of people come out to say, oh, it's a Masonic conspiracy because of the tattoo on his chest. Now, take a good look at that tattoo. Okay, it's a heart. I think it's got mom written in the middle. This is the tattoo of George Floyd. And it's got two wings on a heart holding a semi-automatic rifle. So does that indicate that's a Freemasonic symbol? No, because the people point this out don't know what the hell they're talking about. And I mean that in the most respectful way, because, again, I am very fluent with Masonic research and everything else. Now, where this symbol comes from, a lot of people are pointing this out as it's the symbol of Mammon-Ra. So let me get to that, actually. Where is it? The symbol of Mammon-Ra. Mammon-Ra is a double-headed eagle. It's Egyptian deity. Mammon-Ra is a god of war and a god of wealth, okay? Now, there was a gentleman named Albert Pike back in the 1800s. He was a very evil man. It's General Albert Pike, and they got a big memorial for him in Washington, D.C. Now, he wrote a book called Morals and Dogma. You'll find this in every Masonic lodge across the country, and in fact, most Masons don't even bother reading this, and if they did, they'd be hightailing it out of Freemasonry altogether. Now, Mammon-Ra is a double-headed eagle, as you see there. That's the Masonic 30-degree symbol, because Albert Pike here, he was a member of the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry. And at the time, they only had 32 degrees for the Scottish Rite. There's the York Rite and the Scottish Rite. He's the one who created the 33rd degree for the Scottish Rite. And he chose to use Mammon-Ra as the symbol of the 33rd degree. Now you can see up here, this is his book, Morals and Dogma. That's the number 33, okay, for the 33rd degree for the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, and sometimes the 33 is here. So, no, for some reason, and it's 33 stars. So, for some reason, people confusing Mammon-Ra with this tattoo on George Floyd. Now, you can clearly see that's not even close to resembling at all. Close to resembling Mammon-Ra. It's just a heart with wings. It says Mom in the middle, and it's holding a gun or something. I think it says Mom, whatever case. So, it's not even close to being that symbol. You can clearly see that, okay? And again, I'm the first one to point these things out when these things are true. And yes, things like that do happen, and they're very open. And here's the other thing that's going to totally debunk this thing too. Now, Albert Pike, he's again he's the father of Scottish Rite Freemasonry. Again, he created the 33rd degree. That's his symbol for the 33rd degree. Albert Pike was as racist as you could possibly get. Big time. He was all for slavery. He was all for all that stuff, okay? And this guy is racist as they come. A complete communist and everything else, and why they have a memorial for him in D.C. at the Scottish Rite building, I don't know. So, here's the thing. Why would George Floyd be part of a group that is completely racist? Now, there's a Masonic group called the Prince Hall. Okay, the Prince Hall later on was created because they wanted to paint a public image to the public that we're not racist, even though they are. Okay, same thing with the Mormons and same thing with Jehovah's Witnesses. They never allowed the black people into the churches. They never allowed black people into Masonic halls. So to paint a politically correct picture, what they did was they created a black order called the Prince Hall, just to appease the public, and black folks joined the Prince Hall to become Masons. They have different robes and different, the things, whatever. So they have different styles a little bit than the traditional Freemasonry. And they stay within the Prince Hall. They never intermingle with the Scottish Rite or the York Rite. And people don't understand this, okay? So Prince Hall was created by a fellow named John T. Hilton. He was a Grand Master of the Prince Hall in 1826 and 1827. Okay, and he created the Prince Hall of Freemasonry. It was for the black folks. But in Freemasonry, at the top, black folks are very looked down upon. And again, once more, the Scottish Rite founder, Albert Pike, was racist as they come. You could do the history, you'll see what I'm talking about, okay? And he's the father of, literally the father of the Scottish Rite. So why would he have a symbol of the Scottish Rite, especially being in Masonry, and black folks would be into the Prince Hall? Not that. So you could clearly see that tattoo on his chest, clearly see it. It is not the same as the Scottish Rite 33rd degree Amun-Ra, the god of war and the god of wealth. It's an Egyptian deity, once again, chosen by Albert Pike because he's the one who created the 33rd degree for the Scottish Rite. So anyway, the Masonic Prince Hall, okay, is again to appease the public, and so it doesn't show on the cover that they're racist and everything else. They created the black section called Prince Hall, which would never ever intermingle with the Scottish Rite. I want to make that very clear right now. And anybody in the Prince Hall would never wear such a tattoo of the Scottish Rite. And this is, again, this is not a Scottish Rite tattoo. People who made these videos, you need to know what the hell you're talking about and actually look at the things before you shout off, because this is not the same symbol. This is the symbol of the Scottish Rite. Plain and simple. So, where does this come from? So this is called a Masonic tracing board, all right? And the man in the coffin ritual is believed to be Rabbi Bar Yoshi Simeon. So anyway, that's a whole story altogether. But this is called the Masonic tracing board, the journey through Masonic journey. You know, the so-called Jacob's Ladder, the pillars of Jachin and Boaz. Okay, and it's a Kabbalah. This is Kabbalah. Okay, and Kabbalah, which is ancient, the most ancient version of Satanism you could get. And they, trust me when I tell you, okay, they would never in the world allow black folks into this order. And again, they only created the Prince Hall just to appease the public. That's all they did. They would never allow a black folk to enter any of this time of echelon of the Masonic order. And I know some Masons out there watching, and I don't care what you think you know, whatever. This is the truth, okay? And this here represents the 33 degrees, the journey they take, the 33 degrees of the Scottish Rite, and this is the 9 degrees of the York Rite. The York Rite is basically the quicker way up to the top. Then you come to a thing called the Devil's Pass, where you can take the right path or the left path. That's the whole story altogether. And basically, people who are Luciferian into the occult, they excel through Masonry faster than anybody else. And yes, Masonry, it's the first 3 degrees is called the Blue Lodge. They accept Christians, Muslims, whatever the case, they accept them into the Blue Lodge. Then they let them out into what's called the Red Lodge. And the people, yes, the Christian and stuff can get to the 33rd degree, but they'll never be that cornerstone, the top echelon, elite, where they want you to be. Because it's meant to take fundamental Christians or Muslims or whatever and turn them into Luciferians. Now, the whole base religion of Freemasonry, I don't care what you've been told, it's Kabbalah, plain and simple. It's a Luciferian craft. It's called the craft for a reason. It's Luciferian. The all-seeing eye is not the eye of Providence, okay? It's not the eye of Horus, it's the eye of Lucifer. And you will never get told that until you get to the top of that ladder where they want you to be. Every step of the way in Freemasonry, they lie to you. It's like high school. Every little step of the way, a third degree is a master mason. You think you know everything when you don't. You're laughed at about from the upper degrees. And each step you go up, the upper degrees know more than you do. And everything you've been told is a complete lie. And you'll learn that too. When you get to the top, you'll learn everything you've been told is a lie until you get to here. If they let you there. These people know the truth about it. You know what I mean? It's not about God, Jesus, or anything like that. It's about Lucifer. Plain and simple. It's not about Horus. It's about Lucifer. It's a complete Kabbalistic system, which is, again, Kabbalists will never in the world allow black folks into the system. It's a Kabbalah system, guys. It's a Kabbalistic religion. That's what it's all about. And they will never tell you that. And they'll tell you it's over a Christian organization, which they're not, guys. And yes, there's Christians involved in the Masonic lodges, and black folks too. But again, the black folks are separated into another one called the Prince Lodge, the Prince Hall, I'm sorry. And there's their leather aprons they wear, made of lambskin. And these are the trestle boards, they call them. Whoops, where is he? These are called trestle boards. And these are the, right here, the steps symbolize the 7 sacred sciences taught to mankind by the fallen angels and God. And there's 2 versions of that. So there's a lot of stuff in people that don't know about Freemasonry. And this is these 2 here, the pillars of Jachin and Boaz. And you always got to see a sun and the moon because, again, at the top, they'll never tell you this. At the top, it's a Luciferian organization. They believe in a Kabbalistic, hermaphroditic type God. You know what I mean? That's androgynous. You know what I mean? That's why they use the Baphomet at the very top, too. And you'll never see that. And the so-called Star of David, guys, there's no such thing as a Star of David. David never had a star. It's the Kabbalah star. That's what it is. So don't let people fool you. There's no such thing as the Star of David because David never had a star. This is pure Luciferianism, guys, and that's the tree of life from the Kabbalah. And yes, it's complete evil, okay? So once again, before we go, George Floyd is not, okay, part of a Masonic conspiracy. The man was killed, okay, it's plain and simple. You could love it, you could believe it or not, the man was killed, okay? And that move right there, I learned that in jiu-jitsu, so you could clearly see the officer's feet that he had 100% of his body weight onto him. I'm a black belt in Kempo, black belt in Shotokan Karate. That is right there, and I take Aikido Jiu-Jitsu. That right there is a complete devastating move, especially when you have your hands handcuffed behind your back and you're on your face, okay? You could barely breathe as it is. And let alone this guy, you can see his feet. There's no conspiracy here. This guy's dead, okay? And again, I'm always the first one to point things out when they're wrong and there's a conspiracy behind it. But no, once again, guys, this is not, this is not. The other thing, too, I want to point out, too, people say he was a porn star and all that. And that, first of all, YouPorn is not actors. It's all amateur. The websites, thank you for pointing that out, Paul, but those websites I looked into, all those websites, they don't use actors. They're regular people like you and me that just want to do their thing and put it on video. And anybody could upload the stuff to it. It's like a YouTube, X-rated version of YouTube. So, no, he was not an actor, okay, because anybody could go upload videos to YouPorn. I think that's the website, but I'm not going to even put it on here because it's disgusting. So I already checked the stuff out, guys. I went through it with a fine-tooth comb. He is not part of a Masonic conspiracy. And again, black folks would never, ever be allowed into the Scottish Rite like that. They belong to the Prince Hall, and that's where they stay. You'll never see a black folk that is part of the Scottish Rite. And that symbol that they're allegedly talking about, that's the symbol, the 33rd degree of the Scottish Rite. And I know, I should have brought that up too, because he wasn't a basketball player either. But yeah, people saying that he was an actor because he was in YouPorn and all that. Okay, first of all, guys, any one of us right now, not that I recommend you, any one of us right now could go sign up for a free account for YouPorn and upload ourselves doing the business up to YouPorn. You're not an actor doing that, okay? It's all amateur people. Plain and simple. And I want to point that out right there because, and the thing is, people purposely do this stuff, guys, to discredit the truth movement. Because anybody knows anything about symbolism in the Masonic orders knows damn well that's nothing to do with Masonry. That's not even closely to resemble Mammon Ra, the 33rd degree Scottish Rite. Not even close. Just because it has wings on it and the talon's grabbing a gun, that has nothing to do, and there's no double head there. It's a heart, okay? I mean, I don't know where people get the stuff from, man. They either look too far into it or completely do this purposely to discredit the truth movement. And me, everybody that follows me for years knows damn well I'm always the first one to come out with this kind of stuff if it's true. It's not true, guys. All right? Well, let the man die in peace, man. You know what I mean? And yes, they had the elite use this to push their draconian orders and to destabilize the economy. Yes, they have. I'm not going to doubt that, and because I know for a fact they did that. They used real incidences, cash in on real crisis, guys, to push political agendas. A false flag doesn't mean it's fake. It doesn't mean it's all actors. A false flag is a very real things that happen most of the time. They cash in on it, pushing a political agenda. So I want to, and people just joining me now, sorry about that. Just please rewind this video because it's very important, guys. And again, I'm debunking the whole myth and theory, conspiracy theory, that George Floyd was part of a Masonic conspiracy. Please let the guy die. I mean, like, come on, man. The guy was killed. He was legitimately murdered, guys. And if anybody doesn't think this would kill you, he's got his full weight on him. I hate showing this image. Let me do that to you and tell me that it's not going to kill you. Let the poor guy die in peace, man. You know, and those idiots that make these videos out, you really need to know what the hell you're talking about, please. Because all you got to do is you got to piss people off. Second of all, you completely discredit and make the entire truth movement look stupid. All the work that people like me did, Nicey TV and everybody else, that for years, it just flushes it all down the toilet when people come up with the stupidest videos to show, oh, he was a Mason, and you know, before you even do that, know what the hell you're talking about, because black folks are not allowed into Scottish Rite Masonry. You know what I mean? In that order like that. You know what I mean? They belong to the Prince Hall. You know what I mean? And I'm just going over this one more time, man. And you'll end up discovering that Masonic Masonry at the very top has nothing to do with God, nothing to do. The Eye of Providence is not the Eye of Providence. It's not the Eye of Horus. It's the Eye of Lucifer. It's a complete Luciferian, Babylonian, Kabbalistic system. That's exactly what it is, guys. At the very top. And they are racist as they come, guys. It took years for them to accept black folks into the Masonic Lodge. Big time. And these are the same people who, you know, go off this complete Luciferian system, guys. Same thing with the Mormon. If you actually did the research with the Mormon churches and the Jehovah's Witnesses, the founders, Charles Tace Russells for the Jehovah's Witnesses and Joseph Smith for the Mormons, you'll find out they were Freemasons. Complete racist, big time. And they only started, just like Mason here, it was only in recent years that they started allowing black folks into the churches because they wanted to keep that public perception that they're not racist. But they'll never allow a black person to accede to the top of that ladder in any of those churches, nor the Freemasonry. That's the truth, man. And if you don't believe me, go do the research, guys. And if you're out there, you're watching your Freemason, you're probably laughing because you think you know it all. Okay, you don't. I'm telling you right. I'm telling you to your face. You don't know what you think you know. And this book right here, I got a copy of this. Morals and Dogma by Albert Pike. This book is in every Masonic lodge across the country in this library. And most Masons never read it. That's the sick part about it. And you'll find Albert Mackey's books in there, Manly P. Hall's books in there, where they openly say it's a Luciferian organization. And Albert Pike even quotes out of this book, I got the book at home, I bring it in, okay? Pike quotes, Lucifer, the light bearer, strange and mysterious name given to the spirit of darkness, Lucifer, the son of the morning star. It is he who bears the light. And you got Manly P. Hall saying, to accept the knowledge doesn't matter where the source is from, which is dangerous. If it promises illumination, accept the knowledge there. Oh yeah, I seen that. Yeah, I started laughing that the cop. They said the cop is the guy from Cab. That Cab show, the Cash Cab. No, it's not. And some even people said there was that guy from Dirty Jobs. I see that one, because I watch that show a lot. Dirty Jobs. I don't know if I forgot the guy's name. The host of that show. He does all these jobs. Average jobs to show people out there. There's some dirty jobs out there. The popular show, but yeah, they said it was him too. But yeah, you see where this is going, man. People try to make something out of nothing. And again, Albert Pike, man, you don't get no more racist than Albert Pike. He was a Confederate general and everything. You don't get no more racist than this guy. This guy is completely evil. He ranks right up there almost with Aleister Crowley. And again, people need to know what the hell they're talking about before coming on video to try, and again, all it does is discredit the truth movement. That's all it does. Makes us look like a joke. And again, if this was true, guys, I'd be the first one to point that out. That is not the Masonic tattoo. So, guys, if you got these videos on, please take them down, because you make yourself look like a fool. You really do. And you make this whole movement look stupid. We worked our butts off for years to waking people up, and we don't need people out there coming up with stupidity purposely or inadvertently to discredit everything we worked for. Yeah, it's funny, Al. They do that. So people watching on YouTube later, this is Facebook Live, so just answering comments from people right now watching off Facebook. So yeah, there was Jonathan says he wasn't a basketball player, so somebody tried to say he was a famous basketball player or an actor and everything else, a porn star. And the thing is, guys, I don't recommend people to go to it, but you know what? If it really bothers you, okay, if you really believe he was an actor, go to YouPorn, okay? I don't recommend you do that. Anybody, you could go upload a video right now of you and your wife doing the business. You know what I mean? You don't need to be an actor to do that. It's all it is a YouTube version, X-rated version. That's all it is. And I know you pointed out, Paul, I'm not criticizing you, Paul. Paul Caniff, Floyd was an adult film porn actor. He had previous actions. No, I was just pointing that out. That website they even listed, it was YouPorn, and there's another one like that such. But those sites are all regular people upload stuff to it. There's no actors. You know what I mean? There's so many of those sites out there. It's crazy, man. And so, yeah, I just want to point all this out, guys. And if you just join in, please, by all means, rewind us. Rewind. It's not a rewind, but just start the video from all over again. But I just want to point this out, that George Floyd is not a Mason, okay? And if he was, he'd be part of the Prince Hall, which so far there's no indication or records of him being such a thing, because a lot of these things are public record. And even so, he would never have the Scottish Rite symbol on his chest. You know what I mean? I don't mean to sound cocky, guys, but you know what? It just makes me sick, because we work our butts off for years, for decades, to expose the truth and get behind the dark secrets and lies and everything and expose it. And you have these clowns out there making YouTube videos, which are, false conspiracy theories, because conspiracy theories doesn't mean it's false. You know what I mean? The conspiracies are very real. And if you don't think so, history's made up of conspiracies. So, history is made up of conspiracies, guys. It's all conspiracy. So, take it as what you will, but I just want to get this stuff out here. So, thank you for joining me, Dan Bidondi for TruthRadioShow.com.